Mad violence gripped Bangladesh in December 2025 after the death of young politician Sharif Osman Hadi. Now, a lot was written about these attacks on Indian missions, and sure, a diplomatic red line was crossed. But anybody who has been following Bangladesh for a while would know that anti India hate is not new in Bangladesh. Even before the fall of the Sheikh Hasina government on August 5th, 2024, there was the anti India campaign named India Out. Now, India Out campaign, which was carried out online and also offline, there were crowds of protesters which were going from shop to shop and departmental store to departmental store, protesting against Indian products being kept in Bangladeshi shop windows. Not just that, there was also an attack on Bangladeshi actors and actresses who work in Indian cinema. So, anti India hate is not new, even though the attack on Indian missions inside Bangladesh, the Indian High Commission office in Dhaka, which led to the temporarily the closure of the visa office, created quite a buzz. What was instead interesting was how the death of Hadi was used to push forth an Islamist agenda. Now, Usman Hadi was shot on December 12th. India was blamed, which by various politicians in Bangladesh, which led to this protests, in various mission offices, Indian mission offices inside Bangladesh. And he died, Usman Hadi died on December 18th. Now, immediately after the news of his death became known, there were three targeted attacks. One was the attack on the newspaper offices of Daily Star and Prothom Alo. Both belong to the same Transcom group and are two of the biggest newspapers in Bangladesh. The second was the attack on Chayanot, which is a historic cultural center. And third, of course, is the much talked about lynching and burning in public of a Bangladeshi Hindu man. Now, Dipu Chandra Das. Now, these attacks were symbolic of a larger malaise, which has nothing to do with India. It has to do with Bangladesh itself, which is the pushing forth of an Islamist agenda. Now, these three attacks had nothing to do with, like I said, with Osman Hadi's death or with India. So, why were they carried out as a reaction to the death? First, the attack on the newspaper offices which are burned down of the Daily Star and Prothom Alo. Now, Daily Star and Prothom Alo do not have a pro-India stance. In fact, Sheikh Hasina during her time had often criticized Daily Star, both Daily Star and Prothom Alo, of being very critical of her government. Both the newspapers have from time to time extended editorial support to the Yunus administration. So why were their offices burned down? The Bangladeshi journalists I spoke to told me that these papers, whatever their political stance, also speak of or stand up for the idea of a liberal, progressive, democratic Bangladesh. Now, that's not the idea that the Islamist parties are trying to push forth. Thereby, symbolically, their offices were burned down, also as a warning to the free press on what kind of Bangladesh to aspire for. The second, the public lynching and burning in public, as scores of people on their smartphones recorded the act of Dipu Chandra Das, an innocent Hindu man who was wrongly blamed of blasphemy, is a message to the Hindus in Bangladesh of what to expect in the coming days. Now, it did not stop, as we know, with just the murder of Dipu Chandra Das. There have been several instances after that where Hindus have been targeted. There have been deaths as well. Now, this again is a message to anybody who's trying to keep up the pretense of a secular Bangladesh. Another message from the Islamists. And third, the attack on the historic Chayanot, where the building was vandalized, and a message was sent to anybody interested still within Bangladesh in the art and culture space. I've been speaking to actresses Bangladeshi actresses who told me, of course, on the condition of anonymity, how fake cases have been filed in this 1.5 period that the interim government is in power against many of them, many of their colleagues, cases as serious as murder cases, just to give them a message that acting, singing, dancing, there would be a restraint put on all this. So, as much as the attack on Indian mission offices have been talked about, what needed to be seen with more clarity is the Islamist messaging in the targeted attack on the Free Press, on the Art and Culture Center, and on the public lynching and burning of a Hindu man.